Okay, to be respectful of your guys' time, we're gonna go ahead and jump in. There might be a couple other people joining us. What's up, Colton? Um, all right, let's see. This little control panel always gets in the way, so give me one sec, guys. All right. So I'm kind of going to jump into, and if you guys see like this little slide deck, right? This is like my personal stuff that I'm sharing with you guys. So it's not really a resource in digital BGA. So this is just like kind of my personal take on how, like kind of what helped me when I started, manage my finances, get a little bit more organized with the sales that I was making, my experience with chargebacks and stuff like that. Now, obviously, I'm pretty sure we all know what SMART goals are. So we're not going to like harp on some of the more obvious things here, but I do want to touch base on it because it is a very good resource. I learned this in college when I went to like college for, I think it was maybe 3 weeks. I might be giving myself a little bit more than more than I actually went. Maybe it was like 2 weeks, but I learned this. I picked it up and I used it, man. It's SMART goals, and I thought it was pretty unique in the fact that like you can do it and it works because there is a formula. There's a formula to pretty much anything. And even setting goals is one that you'll want to follow because it's not just looking at a number on a board, waking up in the morning, meditating on that number and hoping that it comes true, right? This is going to let us find the roadmap to the treasure, if that makes sense. So everybody's treasure is a little bit different. The last huddle, I asked you guys what your why is. My why was literally to just be able to make my own dime on my own time. That's why I got into the business, ultimately just to work for myself. I don't have to be rich. I don't want to be rich. Starting a business is cool if it scales, awesome. But look, if I don't got to punch a clock every day, dude, that's a win, right? I can sleep good at night. If my daughter wants to go on vacation or my kids, they want to go somewhere and we're just cooped up in the house, I don't have to ask permission to take time off. You guys are essentially just snapping the leash, right? That was my why. And I got into this business probably about 3 years ago. And I haven't looked back. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. Anytime I even consider a job and you compare it apples to apples to what you're able to do in this industry, it just doesn't make sense to go back. I mean, you're literally agreeing to put the shackles back on. I know it's a little extreme, but if you don't mind, man, I'd like to know some of your guys' why. Noah, would you mind sharing? You're already a business owner, so I know you might have a different goal in mind. So there's no wrong answer, but why'd you get into this industry, Noah?
Well, a couple of reasons. First, I want to leave more money to my kids. And second of all, during the pandemic, I learned that retirement really wasn't for me. It's
Amen.
more like, I think retirement is laying in a box with a lily on your chest. So, I'm just used to getting going every day and I don't want to sit around. So,
Absolutely. Colton, why'd you get into this industry?
Well, the two main reasons is one is family, to help support the family I already have and to start my own soon, hopefully. And the other reason is financial freedom, which to me just means the ability to live off of the means of your own personally invested resources.
Nice. Heck yeah, man. So you're even going to possibly leverage some of your money in this business and invest it to other businesses, right? To make potentially some more cash.
Absolutely.
Sweet. If you're on camera, I'm going to call on you. Kenny, what's up, brother? How's surgery go? What's your why in this business?
I feel great. Thanks. I was pretty high, the other day. So
okay, next. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So my why is, to do as much as I can over the next 10 or 15 years and then do a little traveling, just do a little traveling, some freedom.
So did you learn about the carrier incentive trips? Like you seen agents like going on these badass trips and stuff?
I do. Yeah. And I kind of like that idea. I think that'd be really exciting. Yeah. I like that idea.
Yeah, there's so many agents that I see and they're just like all over the place. I never really cared for travel. My wife wants to do all that stuff, but more power to you, man. I know it's possible. Just ask Shane Gore, Cammie, Nick and Jeff. I mean, it's obvious they're going to be like qualifying for these incentive trips. But that's a good point you brought up, because if you stick with just one carrier for maybe like 6 months and you just push business through that carrier, you're gonna qualify for a trip. So
Yeah, I guess AMM, not to jump it, but like AMM, all you have to do is write the business and you'll go. The other ones you have to be like top 10, but
Yeah, so-
AMM, apparently everybody goes as long as you hit it, you know?
yeah, AMAM is definitely one of those easier trips to qualify for. So awesome, man. Travis, what's your why?
I think for me, it was more just the freedom. Because I was a pharmacist for 25 years. You know, you stand behind a counter 12 hours a day. There's no such thing as taking a day off. So I got into management, and we worked 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. At least 4 days a week, sometimes 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week. And there's no time off. There's no family time. My kids were asleep usually by the time I left for work, and getting ready to go to bed when I got home. And it just got to be, I'd pass myself coming and going, dark in the morning, dark at night. So I was looking for something that had a little more.
Yeah, that's pretty intense, man.
Yeah, here at least, like doing this, if I can work as hard as I want, to make more. But if I have a day where I just don't feel, 100%, I don't have to sit here and dial, 200 times.
Yeah,
I can get up and take a drive for half an hour, go down by the lake. I don't have to,
that's
and
it.
when you work for somebody else, you can't just, if you get frustrated, if your eyes get tired, you can't just walk out for an hour and collect yourself. So for me, it was more time freedom than anything else.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So that's a lot of the agents' reasons why is just, get the time. And it looks like you got some natural sunshine coming through the window behind you. At least you get to
Look.
see the sun come up and down, right? In the building, it's just like you go in, it's dark, you come out, it's dark. That's like, yeah, that's tough. Cool.
Exactly.
So Thomas, what's up, man? What's your why? You're on. Okay, perfect.
What's going on, guys?
Not much.
My story is long, but I was forced into retirement due to the gas price hikes a little over a year ago. I don't care for retirement. Plus, I'm sitting here starving to death with when you're on your retirement and prices are soaring sky high. And I'm like, I'm not going to just sit here and wither away. So I'm going to get back into something I know how to do. And I've done a lot of things and been good at many of them, but I had big success in insurance back before Katrina hit. And so sitting here going, what can I do to change my situation? I've sold cars. I was very good at it. I don't want to go work for those guys. The car market's destroyed right now anyways. I could go sell houses. I've been a licensed realtor. Who's selling a house right now, or how many? How do you get one financed?
Yeah.
All the problems that are in the world. And I'm sitting here going, I saw the tornadoes coming into Mississippi and out Midwest and the hurricanes. And I'm like, they can't stop those. They can't stop us from dying.
Exactly.
So, I can get back into insurance. They can't stop my paycheck there.
Yep. Yeah, 100%, man. I like what you said about real estate. I mean, a lot of real estate agents, it's the same thing as like working a job, because you get a commission, but off of one house. I mean, you don't own the house, right? It's just a quick transaction, and it's a small percentage for a lot of work that they put in. I know how much work you guys put in doing real estate. So, all good reasons, right? There's no bad reason to get into insurance. There's no wrong reason to get into insurance. I mean, it's all going to be relative, right? So SMART goals can help you guys achieve, any goal that you guys see fit when it comes to selling life insurance over the phone specifically, right? So specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, time-based. We already know all of those as well. The business structure thing, guys, I'm going to touch base on this briefly because again, I'm going to reiterate this as many times as I can. You just want 3 to 5 carriers that cover some niches, right? And notice in the parentheses here, less is better. And it's going to make more and more sense as we go through this slideshow, if you will, because I'm going to skip around some of these slides here and make it relevant. But it's going to make more and more sense as we progress through this training today. You don't want to contract with an overwhelming amount of carriers and spread yourself thin. If you guys are writing business with 10 different carriers, your risk for chargebacks increase. This is a cash flow business. I'll just say that again. This is a cash flow business. You don't want to get paid as earned. You don't want to avoid chargebacks. Has anybody read Rich Dad, Poor Dad? I'm just curious, and I'm not encouraging you guys to read it. But look, one of the things that he says in the book is the people who are the richest in the world actually take on debt. It's just the type of debt that you take on, right? Is the risk worth the debt that you're taking on? Is chargebacks, or I'm sorry, are advances debt? Advances are debt. You are still liable to pay that advance back if your client does not pay their policy. But why the hell is that scary? It shouldn't be, right? Chargebacks should not be scary. Thomas, go ahead.
I told you, I went through Katrina. I was killing it. I was making close to 20 grand a month out of the gate. Never done it before. And Katrina hit. All my policies were on the coast. I got charged back almost $67,000 in one day. And Katrina destroyed me. That chargeback hurt really bad. My point is, you better save half of everything. You got taxes, you got chargebacks, things like that. You better save it.
Yeah. So, and this is all going to be a part of your guys' strategy, right? When you guys go to scale and buy different states. Now, unfortunately, Thomas had like a natural disaster, right? Which is something that we can't control. Like when you board a plane, you don't know if that thing's going to crash or not, right? So we're not anticipating the crash. And Thomas did, ultimately absolve his obligations, or he probably wouldn't be producing with us today, right? So they understand things like that, and these carriers will work with you, but you can't do anything about a natural disaster. But what you can do is really tighten up the bolts in your business that you're submitting today, right? And then you can anticipate chargebacks in the future, which we're going to get to in a second. So what this is going to allow you to do is streamline your whole business. It's going to streamline your whole process, right? We're going to talk in a second about business accounts as well. And I also want to touch on leveraging credit. Now, if you're new and you guys, maybe don't have any credit, there's a bunch of tips and tricks that I can show you guys, maybe on another training about how to, build your credit pretty quickly. And just so you know, I don't talk about stuff unless I've done it. Okay. I won't say like, oh, here's how you make $1 million unless I have $1 million in my bank account. I'm just not that guy. Okay. I have taken my credit from a 475 to a 780 credit score. I use my credit to fund a rental car business that I currently own and operate with just 2 cars. That's all I want right now until I'm ready to scale, right? So I know how to use credit. I know how to leverage credit. I have, this is how thick my wallet is. I don't even know if you guys can see on camera, but dude, I have credit cards out the yin yang. I mean, I'm an Amex holder. I want to sit here and show you my cards on training, but I mean, I have like 10 business credit cards, solely dedicated to growing this life insurance company. Okay. So there's strategies that we can use your credit that's going to help you put more money in your pocket. Also, it's going to help you save the money that you make, right? So if you have a registered business already, you can get a ton of perks for spending money on marketing dollars, right? Some of you guys have a business already. Noah, I know you have a business already. I know he's not on the meeting right now. James Stein, I only know because he asked me a question yesterday. He has an LLC as well. Now, I want to make this clear, guys. This is not like legal advice, right? You don't necessarily need an LLC. If you go that route, you're going to double license. For instance, if you're licensed in AutoPod 1 to take call-ins, you're going to have to buy a whole nother Pod 1 for your business, right? So I just want this terminology to be clear. because I don't want you guys to have to go through that. You don't need an LLC. You're going to get paid as a sole prop through the carriers when it's tax time. Okay. You can use your EIN. That's what they're going to pay you with. Your social security can be your EIN, or you can go to, I think it's irs.gov/EIN. And then you can get an EIN. That's what you need to open a business account. Okay. And whatever articles of organization that your state may require you to file. Once you get this, you're going to register that information with Dun & Bradstreet. Okay. This is going to be how you manage your business credit out the gate. Duns and Broad, or I don't remember how they spell it. I got an account with them, but I could never figure it out. It's Duns and Brad or Duns and Broad, something like that. If you Google search it real quick, it'll pop up for you. Now, oh, it's right here, Dun & Bradstreet. There you go. God, I love myself, man. I put it in there. Didn't even look at it. You can also sign up for NAV. This is going to help you as well. Just look at your credit profile. Okay. But how other companies look at your business credit is through Dun & Bradstreet. Here's some pretty easy business cards to obtain once you guys have an EIN, or if you already have an LLC. The Capital Spark card, I think this is the first card that I got. It's a $0 annual free fee. You get free employee cards. You know, they all offer this, free cards for your employees. Why not, right? I mean, the more money you spend with them, the more they're going to love you. So they're all going to have like a free employee card thing. And it helps build, you know, your business credit. I mean, that's kind of what it's designed for. And it helps to have a Capital One account, right? American Express Gold, dude, when I got this thing, I was so happy, just because everybody that had a business that I knew was always talking big about American Express. They're not that hard to get. Once you basically build one credit profile with, you know, Capital One or even Corpay, American Express Gold is fairly easy to get. There's a $295 annual fee. You get 1 to 4 points on each transaction. I believe 4 points is like $1. Sometimes they'll give you kickers more times than usual for marketing dollars. So if you guys are spending money on leads, right? Anything that, you know, has to do with marketing, websites like Canva, even like WP, which is WordPress for your guys' websites, you guys are going to earn cash back. So that's huge. If you're spending money on leads, you're automatic, and you use a business card and you get points on that, you're automatically paying less for your leads. Your customer acquisition costs automatically goes down because you're getting a kicker for using these cards, right? Now, 10 years ago, I probably would not have got any credit because I wasn't the person that was responsible enough for credit. So I just want to throw that warning out there, guys. If you have trouble managing your money already, I would maybe advise against getting a credit card first, and then make sure that you guys are setting up your, you know, your bank accounts correctly, and that you are managing your cash flow correctly, which is what we're going to talk about right here. Because if you can't manage your cash flow and you don't know the dollars that are coming in the household and coming out, it's going to be real easy to just say, you know what, I'm going to place another $1,000 lead order. Maybe you got a $2,500 limit, right? By the way, I do want to touch on that as well. Never leave a balance on your business credit. You pay that off every single year. Last year, we did a mastermind with Jake Garcia. He said he leaves $10 on there, and it helped his business credit out a little bit. No, I think pay that thing all the way off every single month whenever you make transactions. So you're not using credit to buy things that you don't have the money for. You're using credit to float you, right? And I'm sorry, guys, I have to touch on this, but this is what Corpay is. Corpay should be another one that you guys get your first credit through, business credit card through. It just helps you float your business overhead expenses, website costs, subscription costs, stuff like that. But it's just like a credit card. I mean, you can buy leads with them as well. But again, I'm going to say it one more time, guys. The business credit shouldn't be used to buy stuff that you don't have the money for. It's stuff that you're already going to buy. So you're already going to buy $1,000 in leads. You're just going to use your credit card to get the rewards, right? So you're kind of, you know, working the system, right? You can get like trapped in like spending money that you don't have, and then you're just like, you know what, I'll just make a sale, and then I'm going to put a minimum towards my balance. And guys, it's a trap, right? There's a reason why they have it set up that way. And this is why when you get into the mindset of owning a business and using credit to leverage against your business, you have to pay it every single month. Okay. If you guys have any questions about that, feel free to reach out. This is what a traditional business looks like, right? This isn't just final expense. This is any business that we get into. Okay. The money comes in, right? It should go right back into the business. The money goes back out of the business because you're going to pay yourself. Okay. And we're going to talk about how you pay yourself here in just a second. But after you pay yourself, anything that's left over should go back into the business, because you should have a net positive cash flow in your business to be able to reinvest, and your business has to have a savings as well. So if you guys notice, like I'm not just trying to tell you guys, hey, sell, right? There's a bigger goal in mind, and we're also not saying recruit. I believe agencies who just push on recruiting don't understand A, how to sell final expense. B, there's different models to be self-sustainable. Like Colton mentioned, he wants to be self-sustainable. Eventually, you guys aren't going to be on the phone selling, right? Eventually, you guys are going to have 1, 2, maybe three reps who are selling under your ID. It's called LOA, but this is going to help you get there, right? And I'm just putting this out in front of you guys, so that way you guys see it. Like you guys, if you didn't have a plan before, well, now you're seeing something, and hopefully it's sparking something in your mind, right? So this is just a little thing real quick. I could just delete this. By law, I have to say, this is not legal advice. It's just information for general information purposes only, right? But it was just talking about chargeback persistency and things of that nature. And I go over how to set up a draw account in the course as well. A draw account is pretty simple. I mean, all it is just another bank account that you're going to use to pay yourself with. And what I do is I pay myself on the 1st and the 15th of every month. Now, as you're building up your cash flow reserves, I wouldn't too much worry about that just yet until you guys have enough time and maybe a little extra money put back to start thinking about scaling and, structuring like anything with credit and all that stuff. But if you guys are comfortable jumping into it now, it's best to just set it up and get it over with, right? So the 70-20-10 rule, it's pretty universal. A lot of people use it for their personal accounts, right? But you can also use it in business as well. And feel free to mess around with these numbers. I know when I first started, I didn't have a ton of money put away, so I was a little bit more aggressive on paying myself, right? I would put maybe 10% back for chargebacks and taxes, okay? But 70% is going to go to lead orders, payroll, which just means how much are you going to pay yourself? Finance charges, which is just like the credit card transaction fees if you guys have them, or maybe paying back any personal debts you guys have, or whatever the case is, right? The more important number here is going to be like the chargebacks. If you take anything from this training today, take this, and Thomas will be a testament to this. Put something away for chargebacks, right? Just in case. Maybe even have a reserve account. Myself, I used to just float $2,000 in an account. I know my buddy Eric used to float like $5,000 in his account. And what you could do is anything over that amount, you can just pay yourself as a bonus. So if you write, $50,000 in a month, obviously you're going to have more than, $2,000 in your chargeback reserves account, right? It's probably going to be like 4,000, maybe 5,000 in that account, right? So you can pay yourself a bonus, just whatever's over the amount that you want in your chargeback account. So if you're like, hey, dude, I'm just going to keep $2,000 in this account. Well, now I just made an extra $3,000 for the month. Why is this why is this important, right? Well, a W-2 doesn't teach you any of this, but the guy who's behind the scenes, the corporation who's behind the scenes, understood money more than the people who had the job, because he understood that you can use your money to fund your business, right? And be able to leverage the cash flow coming in and scale. That's the key word. This is going to help you scale. If you're just taking the money that you're getting from these sales out like day one, like, oh, $1,000 hit my account today, I'm gonna go spend it on this. I'm gonna go buy this. I'm gonna go buy a new car. I'm gonna put this down on my car. And you get like rose goggle, vision, right? And everything is just like, I could do it, man. I just gotta write one more policy, right? You're not really going to be preparing for the future. And there's certain things in this business that you have to be prepared for, like AEP, right? Medicare, like when times are slow in the lead queue, if you're taking call-ins, right? Maybe you guys go through a slump. One of our best producing agents, his name is Brandon. I think he does the annuities and IUL training. I believe it's Brandon Johnson. I'm only saying this because he made it public on a huddle before. I would never say anybody's numbers, but man, he went through 30 leads, like, and he's a freaking beast. Like, he sells. It just goes to say, like, sales is streaky and you want to be prepared for tough times, right? So he went through 30 call-ins and didn't make a sale. Now he's kicking himself in the butt because he also didn't schedule a call with his brokerage manager. And he's just like say good sales reps, they just like, they have so much pride, dude, like they're just, I can coach myself out of this, right? It must be the leads. Like, it's not me, right? And it was just like one little thing that he was missing. Like he just wasn't transitioning to the app or something silly. And eventually he got back on track, but dude, 30 leads is a lot. That's a lot of money, and that could hurt you if you're not financially savvy and you're not putting money away and stuff like that. And then also, not just that, guys, but for your own sanity, like if you're always like living paycheck to paycheck, that mind, like that mindset where you're just like, dude, I got $10, I gotta make this work. That's gonna give you commission breath out the ass. That is gonna mess your sales game up, right? Now, there are some folks who need that pressure on them, but most of us, it's better to have a net and then be able to have the comfort of pitching and knowing like, oh, if they don't buy today, that's okay. Like, it was a rough day today, it's all good. But dude, if the rent's due next week, you guys are panicking. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, the rent's due, like you got to make a sale and you got to kind of rein back in the horses. So I don't know why I just like to hammer on this, man, but like knowing your finances is just so key in this game. This is all life insurance is about. It's only about managing your money, right? I mean, the products that we sell isn't even a tangible product for our client. They don't get to like use their $10,000 death benefit. They're just buying this because it's money for their kids, right? So, I mean, you could just efficiently say you're just in a money business. Like, this is just all about money. That's all life insurance is about, right? So not just making your sales, but the cash that you're going to use in your business, and you're going to use those advances to leverage your business to scale. Okay. So just to recap right here, the 70-20-10 rule. If you had $3,000 deposit in your account, break out a calculator and multiply the 70%, right? What is the 70% for? Expenses, payroll, remember? The 70% lead orders, stuff like that, right? So you got $2,100 for all that, for all your expenses. So now you got 20%, which is going to be $600. That money is going to go into a pooled account for chargebacks and taxes, or just chargebacks. If you guys get with the right CPA, if you're in Texas, hit me up because I got somebody for you. But if you get with the right CPA, for the first 2 years, taxes aren't scary. I'll just say that. Get this account up to 2K. Don't touch it. So like I said, I haven't seen this slide in a minute. So yeah, I literally just got it up to 2K. If there's more than 2,000, pay yourself the remainder or reinvest. So literally everything I just said on that previous slide. 2K is just my number, guys. That's what I felt comfortable with for chargebacks. And then use the remainder to pay your business a profit, right? You're building a business, okay? So you can pay your business a profit, or what's the same thing as paying your business a profit? Using that money to scale, using that money to buy additional state licenses, right? Maybe you're only in one pod. Maybe you want more lead flow. So buy another pod, right? Maybe you want to diversify your business and go from a web outbound lead type to an inbound lead type, right? So use your money to do that. Maybe you want a better, faster website. Maybe you want to hire an assistant. That's really the next step, is hiring an assistant. Your next hire should be an assistant, and we have resources for that too. So if you guys, eventually come to a point to where you're ready, that you need help managing your current book of business. They can help you get policies back on the books that have lapsed in the past. They can help you set appointments. They can answer your phone when it rings. That's my biggest thing. I'm just a closer. Like, I like to dial out. I like to close people. But dude, once I sell them, this is just a bad habit that I have. Like, I'm just like, man, please don't call me. Like, that's just how I am, right? But it's a terrible habit, dude. Like, I like to close. That's what I do. My weakness is answering the phone. I'll answer it, but I always got the sharks in the background. It's just like, man, are they calling to cancel? Right? Even though you've done everything right, you're always going to be thinking that. But every time I answer the phone, it's always like a sweetheart. Like, oh, thank you so much for helping me out. We got the policy. Everything was great. Awesome. Or, hey man, I got a buddy. Can you send me some more refrigerator magnets? I need to get your information to my son. They're going to get a policy too. Every single time, I swear. And I think it's just because in the past, when I used to have to answer the phone, it was customers like yelling and bitching me out. And yeah, so maybe I do need some therapy for that. But it's never been like a bad thing whenever I answer the phone for my current business. You actually want them to call you. Like, you want them to say, hey, I think I've got another plan or something like that, or I'm talking to somebody else. You want to be there. You want to answer that phone because it shows that you're going to be there when their beneficiary calls, right? That's all they want to know. And you guys should be painting that picture for them too, and letting them know, hey, dude, you guys aren't going to have to go to the life insurance company. Have you ever tried to call a life insurance company? You're on hold for like an hour. Just go to me. You know, I'm the guy for you. I'm always going to be there for you. And when you answer your phone, it, you know, obviously it shows that you're going to be there for them. So what else can we do to kind of mitigate chargebacks? I'm going to go back to this slide. I think it's this one. Nope, I think it's 22, 23. It should be this one. Yeah. Choose 3 to 5 carriers who cover specific niches. Less is better. Less is better, baby. When you get chargebacks with carriers, right? There's a lapse. Sorry, guys, we're going over time. I really thought this was going to be like a 15-minute meeting. There are carriers with grace periods. That's what I'm trying to get to. So you'll get like a pre-lapse notice. As you get these notices, whenever they come through, like the months that you guys are going to be producing, you will have a percentage that falls off of the books. And if you're good, you'll know that percentage every month. And you'll be able to write your way out of chargebacks as long as you're just using 3 carriers to write business. Like Danny Ray always says, like, you're never going to feel a chargeback. The only time when you're going to feel a chargeback is if like a national disaster hits, like Thomas. Like, I hate to pick on you, dude, but seriously, like, if you feel it like that, it's something crazy that shouldn't have happened. Or it's that you're writing with 10 different carriers. That's it. It's very simple. And again, there's a reason why all the most successful telesales companies use 1 to 2 carriers, right? Because they are going to write themselves out of chargebacks every single month. If anything, I mean, that's the main reason why you should just stick to a little bit of carriers. Now, if you go out to other IMOs and stuff like that, oh yeah, they'll contract you up to yin yang. You can get contracted with any carrier you want. Oh, this guy, he has a blood thinner that he takes at only this one company. Oh yeah, run it through. We'll get you contract with 20 carriers, right? But you got to ask yourself, like, is that going to benefit the company? Like, who is that really benefiting? It's really benefiting the IMO. Because now they're putting you in a position where if you did want to leave, maybe you found a better opportunity somewhere else, you're locked with them because you have chargebacks or because you're in a captive agency, right? So there's just a ton to this, guys. I mean, I could talk forever about this stuff, but just to be respectful of your time today, I'm going to cut this meeting short today. But if you guys have any questions, I'm down to just sit here and we can talk about it. If not, man, thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in. Anybody have questions on this? Cool. I'll see if I can put something together with that 70-20-10. I think digital does have something, and I'll just email that out to you guys. Schedule your one-on-ones, and hope you guys crush it today, man. Have a blessed day. Later.